I want to welcome, it's our honor, as chus, and privilege to have Rabbi Oberlander, the Chabad Rav of the Kingston, Pennsylvania community, and much wider than that. Now, I a minute ago I said I came home from Mincha Ma'ariv over here in Shiner Shul. There's a tomorrow in Shiner Shul. There's going to be Yom Kippur halachas when health comes first. So they have a one or two rabbis and they have a doctor. So we have over here a senior rabbi, and we also have many of these people here are got smicha, and we also have a rabbi doctor. Rabbi Elliot Grossman is a seasoned Rav, Dayan, and doctor. So if we need to have the medical balance.
Medical doctor? He's a medical doctor?
Yeah, he's retired. Doc, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
I'm actually a surgeon, but will answer some questions, but not all.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. We need a doctor over here. It's very important over here.
Okay, so I want to first again, I want to really thank Rabbi Oberlander for taking the time. Everybody knows that this month of Tishri is a month that's satiated with mitzvahs. So every day you turn, there's another mitzvah, another shaila, another thing. So helping us navigate through these times is very, very important. And we want to know the right thing to do, especially for whatever reason, even though the Mishnah says, hey, mitzvah kala mitzvah chabura, meaning to treat every mitzvah the same. For some reason, Klal Yisrael takes for some reason, for a good reason, Yom Kippur is achas pashana. So we want to make sure that achas pashana, that one time a year we do kedash kadin and lefnim mishuras adin. So I want to ask Rabbi Oberlander to lead this year by however he would like. Would he like to speak about halachas and then open it up for questions? However, Rabbi Oberlander would like. Rabbi Oberlander, please, covered.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a big honor to join such a choshev Yidden in Talmidim. You said we have someone from Australia. I remember Chof Aleph Elul Tov Shim Pai. It's about 5 years ago, right after COVID. I was invited to speak to Rabboni Sydney, and there was over there a lot of Rabbonim, and on the same topic of Choyle b'Yom Kippurim. Then we were right after COVID, so we had a lot of shilas, and the Rabbonim want to have some guidance. So let me just start and give some klolim, and then go in a little bit in detail. And Baruch Hashem, we have a doctor over here. We could discuss things, which basically my most of the things which I will say is which I wrote then and updated it a little bit the last couple of years. But again, medical things change constantly, and hopefully, the doctor will be able to help us out when we need. Now, the klal is the health, the chai behem. The Rebbe Shalom says that you should live with the Torah. And pekich nefesh, doiche, Shabbos, Yom Kippur, kol Torah kula, except of the three avayras. So, therefore, a person which is not well and he cannot fast, it's a mitzvah to eat. As there's a famous letter from the Shemesh Shmuel, the son of the Avnei, is published in the last page of his book on Mayadam, which over there he writes to one of his Hasidim, which was very broken, that the doctor says that he cannot fast and he has to eat, and was broken. And Shemesh Shmuel, which was a big Godel B'Torah in Nigla, a lot of tshuvas in the Abraham is from him, and it was a big Rebbe of thousands of Hasidim, and a big tzaddik, and he writes to him and says to him, why do you want to fast Yom Kippur? If you want to fast Yom Kippur because, emotionally, okay, so then I understand you have a problem that you cannot fast. But if you want to fast on Yom Kippur because the Torah, the Eibishter says you should fast on Yom Kippur, the same Eibishter said that you should eat. And you should do the same simcha as you fast, because it's the same Rutz Hashem. So, therefore, a person which is sick in any inside limbs, in the Eiver Premium, he has a heart condition, lungs, kidneys, or affection, which he has high fever. Chas v'sholom, he takes chemotherapy. A person which has diabetes, which he has to take insulin. All these kind of things, stroke, all these things, or even mental health medications. All these things are very serious conditions in health, and has to be discussed with a doctor and a Rav how to go about Yom Kippur. Now, the first thing, before he even calls the Rav, he has to talk his doctor, which knows his full condition. Because by one person, if he has one condition, is Isaac, and if he has other conditions, the doctor knows his whole background, so therefore it changes the whole picture. So therefore, he has to discuss this Roif Yedid, like the Rebbe used to say, a Yedid which knows you, and preferably it should be a Shem Torah mitzvahs which has a feeling for Yom Kippur, because it's very easy for a non-Jew or a people which is not a Shem Torah mitzvahs to say, no, you can't fast. No, why not? If he's liberal enough and an Arab will come and ask him if I can fast Ramadan, then you'll push for Hatayra, for he should be able to fast. So when it comes to Frim Yid, so therefore it's kedai to ask a doctor, a Shem Torah mitzvahs, 5 questions. 5 questions he should ask. The first question is he allowed to fast on Yom Kippur? And if the doctor says, no, you're not allowed to fast, then you have to ask, do I need to drink or I need also to eat? Because a lot of people which are not allowed to fast because they need the hydration. They need to drink, not necessarily they need to food. So therefore, ask the doctor the same question. Do I need to eat or no, I only need to drink? The second he has to ask, the third question he should ask the doctor is, can I drink l'shiurim? Can I eat l'shiurim? Which we're going to discuss shiurim, what it is, what's the cheshbon. But could I eat l'shiurim? Because not for every patient it will help. Fourth, which he has to ask, what is the kamut of intake, the volume of intake that a person needs to have Yom Kippur? Because even if the doctor says you have to take in, let's say, 2 gallons of liquid or 4 gallons of liquid, if you drink a little bit more than what you need to, what the doctor recommends, automatically you're over a Isser D'Oraisa. Because even the shiurim is a Isser D'Oraisa. So you have to ask the doctor, what is the amount of intake I need to have, food or liquid? And the fifth question is, when it comes to medication, do I need to take it on a daily basis? Could I skip a day? And if I need to take it on a daily basis, is it on a specific time? Because then sometimes you have to take the medication. Sometimes, if for instance a person takes blood pressure medication, which he has to take it on a daily basis, but he can take it a little bit before Yom Kippur, and can take it right after Matzah Yom Kippur. But there are people which take medication which have to take it dafka in the morning, let's say every morning. So all these things have to be discussed with the doctor. Once he has this information, now it comes to the Rav, and we speak it through what goes. And as the Mat Ephraim says, "Va'adover toli berois einei hamoira." And the thing we'll do after he gets all the information, it's totally what the Rav, how he looks at it, and he passes according to that. Now, this is a thing which even a person has a condition, it's kedai every year to ask again, because things change. Last year the doctor said one way, could be today's day because your condition changed to the better or to the worse. You got to ask every year the question, and it's kedai to do it a few days before Yom Kippur, because I had some more than once that by the Suda of saying somebody calls me and asks me, I need to fast Yom Kippur. Well, where were you the last 2 weeks? Why couldn't he ask before? It's not a condition which just happened. So it's kedai to ask this question, but that you should be able to know how to deal with it.
Are you allowed to do Rav shopping?
Rav shopping?
Yeah.
Again, if you have a Rav which you feel that Rav does not understand so much in Hilchas Refuah, of course you could go to a Rav which understands that better. But going around asking 5 rabbanim until one says, "Oh, okay, that's never good." But in every subject, there's people rabbanim which are more professional in that subject than the other. So you could ask, even if you have a local rav which you ask all the questions, you could call a rav which specify Rabbi Silberstein in Israel. Everybody knows he's the mimcha when it comes to refuah and halacha. So although you're not going to ask him his questions in a Shabbos maybe, but you could ask him the questions in this inyan. Okay, so the first thing which I always say for people, and I discussed it also with a Reufi you did, and I see Poshet, I'm in the Oilem HaHirua over 20 years, and I see the Metzias is that the first thing you have to tell for a person is, especially when we talk about pregnancies, that the 2 days before Yom Kippur, a person should drink a lot of water. It should have electrolytes, Gatorade, all these kind of things which has a lot of electrolytes, which keeps you shouldn't get dehydrated. And performance, all this, I don't know how it's called in other states, in other countries, but this is in America, the names. You drink a lot, and you eat grapes and watermelon. And then when it comes Yom Kippur, you are sitting during the day, staying during the day. Again, when a person is a choil, I'm not talking about a regular healthy person, it's also good. But a kaponam, he should sit in a room, air conditioned room, and if he needs to stay in bed, should stay in bed. I have constantly questions of women who ask me that they're pregnant and it's not that easy for them to fast, and I give them what to do beforehand, and they should stay in bed all day. She said, "What do you mean, Rabbi, stay in bed? I have 6 children. I have to take care." I says, "No, you don't have to take care. You have a husband? Of course I have a husband. He has to go in shul." No, he doesn't have to go in shul. Your fasting in Yom Kippur is a mitzvah deraisa. And he going to shul is very, very important. But again, in order that you should be able to fast, then your husband should stay home. Not only that, even if you one time you are going to diminish by he being home, you will not have to drink that much. Even he should stay home. Because again, the mitzvah of the lady is to fast. And the same is also, if you could stay in bed in a cool room and you are hydrated well, then most of the time you are not going to have a problem. Again, except if you are a choile. Then with the doctor said, I'm talking a pregnant lady or then you don't have an issue. So again, a person should drink a lot, water with electrolytes, or if he doesn't have electrolytes, drink 4 liters of water a day and take 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C, 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 in the middle of the day, 1,000 at night. Usually, I rarely, which I don't even remember, Motzim Kippur, because I try to reach out to the people, which I gave them all kind of solutions, how they fasted. Most of the time went through very, very, very good. Now, when I say a choile has to eat and he doesn't have to fast, does not mean only a choile which is sick at the present. If the doctor will say that if you're going to fast, you're going to become a choile, that's also considered a choile. You're not allowed to fast. It's not a difference that you're now, if the doctor will say, if you're going to fast, you're going to become a choile shel b'skuna. Of course, that it is also for him to fast. Now, if a person is sick and he doesn't have a doctor, he reminded himself the last minute, or he's in a place which he doesn't have a doctor ready to answer his question, or he tried to get across his doctor, and it's a sofer b'kich nefesh. K'mivnu, we know the klal, sofer b'kich nefesh is local. So therefore, again, he doesn't have to fast in such a case, because if it is a sufik, again, I'm not talking about somebody. I'm talking a sufik taka. Maybe he might get sick, or he then of course, or he might get a big iskana. Then he doesn't have to fast. A choile says a choile which says I need to fast. I need to eat, and you tell her you should know it's Yom Kippur. Then you have to. Then she can eat. As long as you don't have a doctor who says no, she cannot eat because it's going to make her sick. And I had a story. It's a very interesting story. I was in the middle of Kol Nidra. You're talking about the beginning of Yom Kippur. Kol Nidra, and a young man comes over to me, and his wife is a sick person, which I know, I deal with her all year round. And he comes over, even Kippur, my obsessed, that's chalish, and she feels that she has to, what should I do? So it says, if she feels that she has to drink, that you could, she could eat. But she should know she's Yom Kippur. Tell her it's Yom Kippur. If she says she has to, okay, that's the Lacha Shechan Orech. I cannot be smarter than the Shechan Orech. It's a rare thing, but again, it bothered me a little bit because, it was right after the Kol Nidra. Right away, you read meat, you need to eat. But again, sometimes it's in the head too. So again, but if she feels a choile, and she is a choile b'eitzem, then she can eat. We'll see what we went to eat, but ikaron, she can eat. Now, does a person need to go to a hospital or to get a Torah member should put him in IV in order to be able to fast in Yom Kippur? The answer is, if he's a sick person and mitzad halacha he has to eat, he cannot fast, then he does not have to put in IV. He doesn't have to. Because since mitzad halacha is a choile, and not only is a choile, in such a case, if he doesn't eat, is a shevich dumim, as we state in Shechan Orech, as machman alatzim is a shevich dam, so he doesn't have to put in IV in order to fast. Because again, as Amatzav, he has the right to eat. But a person which is a healthy person, and we are afraid that by him fasting, or for whatever reason, he might get sick, and he might be, then in such a case, then if the doctor agrees with him, then he could put in an IV. But a person which is a choile, he don't put an IV. The only way when I do say you should put in for a choile IV, when I know my patients, I know that he's going to be a frumer, and he's not going to want to eat, and it's a skona. So therefore I say, okay, listen, put in an IV, because I know he's not going to eat. But there's no chiyuv putting in an IV into a person with a choile in order to he should be able to fast. When a person has fever, comes in Kippur, wakes up with fever or whatever, comes into a fever. Now, the first thing is you should take a Tylenol. Because when you have fever, you might get dehydrated, and then it gets a skona. So you take a Tylenol, automatically knocks down your fever, and then we are not afraid that you have.
Tylenol with water?
Now, if you cannot take it without water, then you can take it with water. Yes, but when you take it with water, when you need to take anything, a medication, when you have to take with water, you have to be poigamit. Poigamit is, I saw solutions of putting in salt. I don't recommend putting in salt because, health reasons, it's not a aitza. The way which I was makabel for my rebbes is you take a tea bag, and you make essence, real essence, which is very bitter. You put it into the water, automatically it becomes bitter water. In such a case, you can take it to water, and you take it, you knock down the fever. If it didn't go down and it went up to 102, and now we will have the doctor if he agrees with me, then he has to start drinking kemivan puchs mekashir. With again, always it's kedai to have electrolytes, a thing which will give you energy and not make you should get dehydrated. Because the problem over here, we are afraid of dehydration. So
you already said that they went up to 102. So to measure your temperature is not a shaila. You already said that they measure.
You measured your temperature, yes, and you see it went up. It didn't go down.
So you have no problem measuring. I mean, you don't have to wait till you're measuring lust glide.
Yeah. Again, it depends on if you have the regular old-fashioned thermometers, which I have till 11, is probably then it's not a problem. Bachlal, not a problem. But when you're talking about this fancy machineries, okay. But again, if you have to measure, you have to measure. You have to know what's going on. You do it, open it with a shini. You do something with a shini, so automatically it's also digital. It's not a drabuna. Again, yes, you have to see what's going on. If you could eat Yom Kippur, you can also check your temperature at Yom Kippur. Again, but if you see it went down again, then it's fine. When it comes to a person, which is a common thing, it happens that a person faints. He's in shul, perfectly fine person, and he faints. Now, the first thing when a person faints, you call that Hatzalah. That's number one. You run out and somebody has a phone, you make sure to call that Hatzalah. But till you call that Hatzalah, you try to survive him. You put you wash him with cold water on his face.
Rabbi Oberlander, David Cohn lives in Nebraska, so you're stuck in no Hatzalah.
That's why I'm getting the next step. If you don't have Hatzalah, but you have 911, you have there too, I assume. Okay. So till you pick up his feet, you put him in water, and then not necessarily that you have to give him to drink, because sometimes he blacks out for a minute, and that's about it. But if once he gets to himself, he's dizzy, he's lightheaded, he's very weak, then that's already a problem. That's not just somebody falls because he blacked out a minute, because that's one thing. But one, he gets dizzy, and there's a chashash, a fear that he's gonna faint again, and there's a problem. He might be dehydrated, because that's why he fainted. Then in such a case, you gotta give him to drink a full cup, no l'shiurim. And first thing you give him a full cup, no l'shiurim. Kemivan, if it's a possibility, give him something which has calories. Not water. Give him oranges, because once you are permitted to drink, which any case it should be, even if it's l'shiurim or more than l'shiurim, it's always kedai to drink something which has a lot of calories, which will give you energy. Yeah, so drinking water, it will help a little bit, but if you give him to drink orange juice, grape juice, whatever, something which has a sugar and will give you energy, it's over water with electrolytes, that's the best thing to do. But once he gave him a cup and he comes to himself, then you don't give him more full dose, only if it needs. You should take it to shiurim. But again, I hope in the meantime that Hatzalah comes and checks him out, and he's going to tell you if it's only just he happens to be blacked out, or he has an issue. And then, if he feels weak, and even if the Hatzalah member says that, he's not very sick, but if he's very weak, he should go home and go into bed and sleep to Yom Kippur. Again, as I mentioned before, sleeping Yom Kippur is better than eating and drinking Yom Kippur. So once he is such a matzav and he feels very weak, he should go home and go into bed. And that's even a person which is sick, and the doctor says he could fast if it comes in the middle of the fast, which the doctor says he could fast, but comes in the middle of the fast and he starts feeling dizzy, lightheaded, it becomes a starke gichulsha, and you don't have a doctor to consult, then kemivan, you have to give him right away to eat, because you're talking about the choila. Now the doctor said that he could eat, but now we see in the middle of the tanas, it is a big problem. A lady just told me today that 1 year, no, a young man told it to me. A young man told me today, I spoke about diabetics. He says that his brother, which is not a part of our community, and he told me a story. His brother he's a diabetic, and it was the middle of Yom Kippur, and he started feeling that the sugar level. So we went to the Rav and he asked, what you should do. And that Rav started kaketzing. You know what kaketzing means? Stuttering. Yeah, but he didn't know what to answer. So, he
usually when you have sugar, when you fast, the sugar is good.
Sugar level drops?
Yeah.
If you're diabetic and you didn't eat, and your sugar level can drop. If your sugar level drops too low, you'll pass out.
Oh, when you're diabetic, the sugar level could drop too low?
Yes.
It depends on on whether he's insulin dependent. Is he taking medication? So it's a diabetic who suddenly passes out is probably his blood sugar is too low. But you can also, if he has uncontrolled diabetes where his sugar level is so high, then he could also pass out. Yeah. So that's why it's nice to do a finger stick and get a level, and that the Hatzalah people would do.
Yeah,
but if in doubt, you give him orange juice, you give him some sugar.
Yeah. So yeah, there are the answers. So he went home, he said, and I washed on a piece of bread. I had no, he felt mamash. So we have to understand, even a doctor said you could fast. It depends also, diabetics, it depends if it's type A to type 1 and type B. Type B, usually the doctor will let you fast. When it comes to type A already, then if it's regulated, if it's not regulated, then no doctor will let you fast. If it is regulated, then the doctor will let you fast in one condition, that you are constantly checking your sugar level. And there, community, you have to do this bashini, because you said that's all of it. But today's the people know themselves how to do it. They have their own kids. So again, you have to do it with a shini, because again, we're going into the rices. You put it with a shini. Now, left hand is not a shini, but akaponim, you do it with a shini, and you check it out, and you go from there. That's type 1. Type 2, usually they will let you fast.
Kavod Rav, my understanding from all these halachos you're saying is that it seems that performing an halacha the Rabbana with a sinoi is much more permissible than to actually eat with a shear or drink with a shear.
Of course, because eating, even pochs mekashir is a isa deraisa. Even if you eat l'shiurim smaller than kekoisvus, as we're going to come to the shiurim, it's still a isa deraisa. It's not chorus. So whenever we say we want you should eat l'shiurim, it's only to take away the chorus, but it's still a isa deraisa. Chot shir is manatoida. But when you do something with a shini, that's a isa drabonon.
It's drabonon. Okay.
Drabonon, yeah. Always a malacha deraisa. When you do with a shini, it becomes a drabonon. There are some times that a doctor will say for the choila that if you are going to fast, let's say till chatzois, yeah, you could fast till chatzois, but then after chatzois, then you're gonna have to eat, and then you're gonna have to eat a full shiur. Then you're gonna have to eat more than shiurim. And if he's going to not start even the fasting, and he's right away in the morning going to start eating the shiurim, it doesn't pay that he should start fasting half a day, because then he's going to come to have to eat a full shear. Rather eat right away in the morning and pochsmik shear, and you shouldn't have to get to the stage that basically you'll have to after the shiurim, because in any case you'll have to eat. The doctor only told you that it's only till chatzos after you'll have to eat. So again, we have to always make the calculations. The lotion is we have to know what is a lower level in a ised, a bigger level in a ised, and make the calculations. And there, the Rav comes in, because the doctor will say, "Oh, maybe you half a day fasting. Oh, at least you fasted half a day." No, rather not fast half a day. Then you can go through the whole day without eating l'shiurim. Now there are some machlas, which basically most of the Rabbonim and the doctor will agree that you shouldn't fast. You know, we tell them clearly that you shouldn't fast, which is basically a person which went through a open heart surgery. The doctor will not let you fast. I assume it's probably till a year even. If a person is Rahman al-Islam, had a stroke, a person which takes chemotherapy, a person which had a kidney transplant, Parkinson's, a person which went through a real serious, operation, a real serious operation, then the doctor will say you shouldn't fast. So again, if he will permit you to eat pachs mekashir, that's preferable. If he will say no, that will not be enough, then can move him. You'll have to follow what the doctor says.
How much after the procedure? I mean, l'olam vod?
No. I'm not talking l'olam vod. When a person is still, again, heart surgery, I think the klal is till 1 year, the doctor will not let you fast. When a person is taking chemotherapy, he's not going to take chemotherapy the rest of his life. We're talking about people which Parkinson's is that's the rest of the life. However, somebody has had a kidney transplant, it's not the rest of the life. So again, when it is the first few 6-8 months after the operation, then you have to really talk it through with the doctor. The only thing which we will say for a person to eat and not even l'shiurim is a person which has anorexia. Anorexia is, you cannot say shiurim. That's a skona. It's a danger. Yeah, I'm doctor, am I right? Anorexia is a thing which is fill us in.
The anorexic, that's the person who has an eating disorder. So you'd have to know exactly what it is that this person does eat on a regular basis or not. So
But it has to be prescribed as, he has to be diagnosed. He can't decide.
You wouldn't. But these conditions would be well known to the doctors and certainly to the patient.
Yes.
So it's not a surprise. So whatever they would have to do for that day would be routine for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't give it. Yeah, exactly. It has to be like Rabbi William says. It has to be with a doctor. Diagnose. People should not say. And once you have a doctor, then you don't play around with it, because this is something which is really a dangerous thing if you mess with your foods. Okay, so now let's go a little bit with miberes, pregnant women. Again, a lady which is pregnant has no problem 1 day fasting. It's not going to make a miscarriage. That's the derech klal ungenehmen. And at any stage, the first 9th month, 5th month, in any stage. Regular that has no complication, no history of complications, no, just a regular. It's not a problem. It's not. I know firsthand. A woman went over to Rav last week, and she's in the 9th month, and the Rav said, and she says, can I fast? Do I have to fast? It says shiurim. I say shiurim. Okay.
The 9th month.
We'll get to that. It's not, okay, but
okay, no, I'm saying he was too fast on the shiurim.
Okay. So usually there is not problems. Again, especially, and I saw it, I followed up a lot of years after Matziyam Kippur, there was no problem. People tell me never fast so good, because I tell them 2 days before, drink a lot, fill yourself up with water with electrolytes, drink grapes, eat grapes, watermelon, stay in a cool room, stay in the bed. Usually they fast a machaya. That's regularly. Now, there are some women which have a problem, they will vomit a lot. Now, today, there's medications for that. But there are people who will vomit, then you go into if you vomit once, okay. But once you start vomiting a lot, then you have a problem to getting dehydrated. So again, then in such a case, you'll have to drink l'shiurim. Now it goes like that. A lady which is pregnant from 5th month till 9th month, 5 till 9 is when, again, she's fasting. If she starts feeling contractions on a Masuda de Yoifen, which is every hour she will have 4 contractions, such a case, you have to drink right away a lot, not the shiurim, because you have to stop the contractions. It's pashta, you have to stop the contractions, and you drink not the shiurim, drink a cup of 8 ounces of orange juice or things which have calories, and you don't drink the shiurim. I'm not talking, that's still night one we can get soon. The same is also if you're talking about ladies which a doctor says high risk pregnancies. In such a case, a doctor says that you're a high risk pregnancy. In such a case, we tell them that they should drink if they can the shiurim, but even if sometimes the shiurim will not help. So I will tell them they should drink, at least wait 10 minutes. I'm sorry, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Why? Because we're going to come to the shiur and we're going to see that when it comes to how much the shear of drinking is a machloikes rishonim. If it is k'achilas paras, which k'achilas paras, we have a machloikes from 9 minutes till 7 minutes, 4 minutes, till even 2 minutes. And when it comes to food, we pass like the Chassam Sofer, you wait 9 minutes between food. And the Tzemach Tzedek says, although he agrees that it's 7 minutes, he says like you should pass like the Chassam Sofer 9 minutes, but a person could not, he needs more food, you go down to 7, and if it doesn't work, you go down to 4, that till 2. So some points will say drinking is the same thing. You have to wait between one drink and the other drink. Now, in such a case, we don't take the highest shear. We take 4 minutes. We say that will be fine because we have a lower shear, which is the other shitta, which is beikar lalucha. That it's not kedai chilas pras. It is kedai shtiyas revias. The Alter Rebbe brings it down to Shulchan Aruch. There's 2 shittas, or kedai chilas pras. That means to eat chilas pras, which is dalad bites and Gimel bites, which is about, again, we said the minute, or how long it takes to drink a revius. There is a cup of revius liquid. And a cup of revius liquid is about 10 seconds, not more. So I say for the people, even if you have to drink a lot, but if it's possible, you can wait 10 seconds between one shear to the other shear, why not? If it's not possible, again, we can manage. So this is always kedai to have in mind that when a person, we say shiurim, if there is a possibility to say stop for 10 seconds, which is not that long, then it's fine. But again, if we can't, so we going back to the when a person has is a high risk. In such a case, she should not fast. She cannot fast. The doctor says it's a high risk. She should not fast. But again, since she has to drink, and it's not a sakona like before when she goes into contractions. We're not talking about contractions. She is a high risk pregnancy. In such a case, at least she should wait 10 seconds between one drink to the other drink, and then at least has the and the shitta, which basically that's the ikaradin which we passed.
What's the volume that she drinks?
Oh,
30 ml?
We'll get it. I only skipped. I got already ahead of me the shirim of the dalabaitze because I just wanted to fill in this nikida that 10. It's kedai to wait 10 seconds. We'll get soon to the shirim. Now, there are ladies which have high blood pressure when they are pregnant. Yeah. What is it called? Pre-eclampsia, something like that.
Yeah, pre-eclampsia.
And in such a case, it's a skona poshut. It's a skona for your lungs. It's a skona for the kidneys, for the liver, and also women who get diabetes when they are pregnant. Yeah, it's and they have to take insulin. In such a case, also you can't fast. So in such a cases, you cannot fast. Sometimes the doctor will prescribe, has a chash, she might get diabetic, a pregnancy diabetic. Then he will prescribe some kind of medication. In such a case, sometimes the doctor will let you fast. Sometimes, again, you have to call it with the doctor. In such a case, it could be the states when you have to. But if she has already diabetes and she's on insulin, or she has the pre-eclampsia, in such a case, you cannot fast and you'll have to drink or eat, whatever the doctor will say. Also, if a lady already had 2 miscarriages more than from the 5th month and up, and we don't know exactly why it happened, in such a case, you don't fast. A person which had 2 preemies, with babies which were not full developed, were underdeveloped, yeah, or even a lady which had 2 consecutive what is it called? Natuurlijk kesari, cesarean, a C-section. I'm sorry, it slipped. Yeah, have 2 times C-section. Also, in such a case, any lady which is pregnant and she had already twice that she had a preemie not fully developed, or she had twice she had a C-section, she should start up the whole, but l'shiurim. She should start up the whole. You keep it.
At what month? At what month?
What?
What month?
We are talking up ladies which are in the later stages of we're talking about if she had later stages that she had
she had a lady that had twice cesareans and now she's pregnant. So what month already could she drink the shiurim? From
what does the doctor say?
Dr.
Depends. So let's say later stages. Let's say 8th month, 9th month. It depends. But
Well, not the second, not the fourth month, not the earlier month. You said.
I doubt it.
No, I don't think the 4th month, but I would say even from 6th, 7th already.
Yeah.
You're going into problems. Again, such a case. Again, such a thing has to talk to the doctor. The doctor will tell her she knows her condition. She knows her. She should ask. But again, should not play around. These are not. They are not things which are to take it lightly. The same will also be a person which was already in contraction, and they stopped it with medication. Then, such a case, then she'll have to go with l'shu'urim. The same thing will also go people who have placenta previa, or they have cervical circulate. All these things, which again, the doctor, the lady which has it, knows exactly what it is. Problems which with the cervix is covered, whatever the doctor knows about it. And so all these things, a lady should start up the tanas to begin with in the morning. Should not fast at all. But all these conditions could be with shiurim. It's enough if you take pachs mekeshur. A lady which is pregnant with twins, and Yom Kippur is from the 5th month and on, she has to talk very important with the doctor if she should fast. When it comes to triplets, the doctor, I'm telling you now, don't fast. No. But when it comes to twins, ask the doctor. Not necessarily he will let you. Whatever he says, you should do with that. Now, when it counts a regular lady, which is basically pregnant, and she's in the 9th month. Okay? Now, a lady in the 9th month has to fast. If she has no issues, she has to fast even in the 9th month. Now, if she starts feeling in the 9th month contractions, but we are talking about contraction, which is no more than normally, because in the 9th month you have, I'm talking about contraction which is more than normal. Or she starts feeling pressure from the child, So over here it depends. Till the 39th week, we will pasken. She has to drink right away. And again, she cannot go to shiurim. Again, if she could stop for 10 seconds, as I mentioned before, it's kedai. If she can't, because you have to stop, it's before the 39th month. In such a case, you right away start drink a full cup. Again, if you can't stop for 10 seconds, it's good. If not, it's also good. You have to stop it. That's till week 39. Once it's after week 39, and she starts getting real contractions, so now she could deliver, basically. So we say like this: if she is a home birth, today's day becomes popular. Okay, I do not advise this whole this. I could say it not because I am anti health bug, because I have to pass in the shaylas from this, and there's a lot of issues. But again, if she's at home and she starts feeling contractions, right away she should drink without seconds, without 10 seconds. Drink. You cannot go in to have a dry delivery. Cannot be a dry delivery. You have to right away drink a lot, because you're going to have a baby. If you're going in right away to the hospital, then it's not important to drink, because once you come into the hospital, they set you up with an IV, and then, so again, depends. But that's when you are already you're delivering. That means it started bleeding already heavy, or she can't walk. Bleeding, heavy bleeding, or she cannot walk, or she's already if she has every 5 minutes strong contractions, she's no. I see the doctor doesn't agree. Let's hear.
Oh, if she's having such contractions one after the other, she should be in the hospital. She's already giving birth. That's the end already.
But she's at home.
She's at home. I don't think she's going to feel like drinking anything when she gets to that stage.
Okay.
That's the end.
Yeah, that's the end.
You want to deliver this baby and then take care of it.
Yeah, but I know from the doctors, they don't want it to be a dry delivery.
Yeah, but that's before the delivery. But when you're getting the contractions coming in sequence, one after the other, and strong, so that's the
oldest.
end.
Okay, now one final thing when we come to this is when a person is pregnant, and she goes through tipulim to IVF tipulim. So the Shlomo Zalman and Alicha Shlomo Paskins that till 18 weeks she should drink lekitchila with leshiurim. Till even when she's pregnant, but till 18 months, till 18 weeks inside, she should not fast. Even she's a healthy, she should not fast because it's a risk for the pregnancy. After 18 weeks, he says you should discuss it with the doctor. But before that, he passes don't fast, which he knew this stuff. Okay, when it comes to Yoldus, a person which gave birth, a lady gave birth, we know the Shulchan Aruch that first 3 days she has to eat the shiurim kemuvin, but she has to eat. From 3 days till 7 days, if she feels that she needs to eat a drink, she should eat a drink. She may. After 7 days, it is not. She doesn't. She has to fast, except if she's sick. If she tells me I'm sick, not because of the pregnancy of the delivery, she's sick. Then she goes to the gate of choyle. But if mitzad delivery is first 3 days, she has to. She doesn't have to fast. You do the shiurim. After from 3 to 7, it is only when she says she needs it. And even the doctor says she doesn't eat. If she says she needs it, she can eat and drink. After when she doesn't. How do you calculate the three days? The Alter Rebbe, that you don't calculate it by the Meslas, the 24 hours. So therefore, if you had it Zion, in the middle of the day or afternoon, Zion, Tishri afternoon, and so if you calculate 24 hours, so then pass and eat, so till Yom Kippur afternoon. But if you calculate, you don't calculate Meslas, we calculate the days. Zion is number 1, Ches is number 2, Tes is number 3, so Yid is already after the 3 days. But the Tzemach Tzedek says that if we're talking about a lady which is a chalosha, we could rely on the other poskim which say it goes a Meslas. So again, this is a thing which we have to see every lady individual how to work. Usually, I'm going to tell you stam. Usually, when it comes to a lady, which I had a son right before Yom Kippur, and I prepared for my wife chocolate chip cookies, Österreichisch chocolate chip cookies. That was the sack when I was today it became small, new and improved. When you say new and improved, it became smaller and it's more expensive. So I don't know today's day, but the Österreichisch chip cupcakes from Österreich, the famous brand, used to be, they say, that's Pochsmekashir. So I prepared her such a cookie, a bunch of cookies with a cup, a schnapps cup, which has 30 grams, 32 grams. And it says, whenever you feel you need, drink. And once you prepare that, everything went through without eating anything on Machaya. Again, I'm talking from 3 till 7. For the first 3, you have to. From 3, after 3, once you prepare it, she knows she can eat if she wants. It's much, much, much easier. Now, nursing ladies, kemiven amenekes in mechiev to fast. There's no mechiev to fast. Usually, 1 day not eating and drinking will not diminish the milk. But the next day after Yom Kippur, you'll have to give for the child you have to nurse a lot in order to make sure the milk, comes back normally. If there is a chashash that you're going to lose the milk, if there is a chashash and the child takes only mother's milk, then that's something else. In such a case, she has to drink kashir, but that's only such a case. Other than that, usually a manekas is not a problem. Then if she fasts, and it's okay. Okay, so let's go just short the shiurim. What are the shiurim? Again, as I mentioned before, that min ha-Torah even Pachs Mekashir, Chutshir Osman Atoira. But again, chorus is only Kekoisvus. Koisvus is what is it? That's a tumor. It is Ktsat Puchs Mekabaitza, a little bit less than a kabaitza. That's the shear by eating, Kekoisvus. When it comes to drinking, what does it mean, Kemoy Ligmaf? How much water goes into the cheek of one cheek of a person, and every person we test according to their cheek. It's not a rules and regulation. If a lady could, or person could check it, here's before Yom Tov, put water on one side and then spit it out and measure it, that would be the best. It's not too practical, but akapunim, if you can do it, that would be the best thing. That's the Indian of Kamaloi Ligmaf. And the Isir is Ochad, when we said, the Isir Menatoira, akapunim, when you eat, Achila means, Bechda Achilas Pras. If you eat more than the Achilas Pras, akapunim, it's Gaitas Yishra negated from chorus. Because Achila, always when it says Achila, Ka'oichel, means you have to eat the Achilas Pras. That's why when you eat matzah, has to be the Achilas Pras. When you eat Sikus Banach the first night, you eat the Kazais, Kabaitzi, has to be the Achilas Pras, because let them Licha Pras breaks the Achila. So what is the shear in Kekoisvus? Now also we have a lot of shiurim, depends where, but Akaponam, the standard which is ungenehm by Rabbonim lekitchila is 30 grams, 1 ounce, 30 grams. That is nach als puchis mekekoisvus. That's less the shear, and a person needs to eat puchis mekeshir. Then you eat 30 grams. That's puchis mekeshir. A person sometimes is not enough. It has to be. You have to a little bit more. So you can go up till 38 grams because the other boys can say 38 grams. Again, you start when it comes to the rice, you start lahachmed 30 grams, and it goes also benefach. It doesn't go in the weight. So if you have, let's say, a cup, which is a small cup, which is 1 gram, 1 ounce, and as much as fits into the cup, as much as fits in is a part. It doesn't go in the weight. It goes in the value. So if you could push in that cup as much as possible, and it will still be in that cup, that's still puchs mekeshir. And that's the way how you should do it. Make the cheshbonis before Yom Tov. Although if you didn't make the cheshbonis before Yom Tov, you could still make the cheshm in Yom Tov. You could make the calculation. Although as your own measure in Yom Tov, but l'tzoyrech mitzvah you could. So if you didn't do it, it's fine. And also when you prepare to eat, also prepare food which has calories. Now, if you can prepare things which doesn't have calories, you eat the same value, but it doesn't give you the calories. If you eat cheese, eggs, chocolate, things which give you energy, which give you calories, it's much more advisable. Which then, if you eat the same thing, hollow, your rice cakes and that value, you know. So that's the shear legab achilas. Again, 30 grams, and if you really need, you can go up to 38 grams. When it comes to shtia, drinking, as I mentioned, is Meloy Ligmaf. As Thomas Apoiskim is, it is by a mid-sized person, a medium-sized person, it is 40 grams of liquid. 40 milliliters. About 1.35 fluid ounces.
Right. I was just going to say that a shot glass is about 30 cc's. That's 1 ounce. A golf ball is the volume of a golf ball is 30 cc's. It's about an ounce. So if you have to eat the size of a golf ball will give you the approximate volume of 1 ounce. 30 cc's volume.
Schnapps cup?
Schnapps glass. Yeah. Schnapps glass is usually 1 ounce.
And a golf.
30 cc's.
Yes. Okay. And by smaller person, we say like Meloy Ligmaf. Since we said Meloy Ligmaf goes at every person, we say it's 32 grams of mashka. So again, this is 40. This is 30 grams of mashka. And again, even when it comes to drinking, when you need to drink something which has calories. Don't drink plain water. Drink orange juice, grape juice, milk. Water with electrolytes. Don't drink sodas with gas, and don't drink coffee. These things out. Other things, you make sure it should. This is what you drink. Now, how long will you wait? As I mentioned before, Dachilas Pras, we have a lot of shittas. The Semesedi Paskas Me'ikaradin, it is 7 minutes. but you should be machma like the Chassam Sofer, which says it's 9 minutes. So again, if you could wait for 9 minutes, you wait 9 minutes. If you can, you wait for 7, as the Tzemach Tzedek says. If you can't, even that one, you have to eat more. Then again, we have points which say 4. We still we even have some points which say 2 minutes. So again, you have to try to go, when it comes to the rice, you go to the chimeridige shiram, and you have to wait. But again, that's by food. When it comes to drinking, I'm repeating myself, which I said before. Since we have a machloikes, if it is kedachilas pras or kedai shtis, which one is 10 seconds. So we are machmel kedachilas pras, but you don't have to take all the chimras of achilas pras. You could take the mamitza, which is 4 minutes, and therefore you wait 4 minutes. And if you can't, again, you wait at least 10 seconds. Now, so I always say, if you want to have it in mind, you want to say for a choile, which you cannot, 4 minutes, 7, you want to make it clear. You say, to make it just to remember, you could eat every 10 minutes and you could drink every 5 minutes. So basically you are mesider. Now again, if you can tell her that if she can't, by drinking, she could go down. But I could put him, that's a person which is not. He could wait, he could eat the shiurim, 10 minutes food, 5 minutes, you covered this mesider. But I have to understand another thing. If the doctor tells you that you have X amount of fluid, liquid that you need to drink, and you had this amount already, 12 p.m., Yom Kippur, midday, you cannot drink anymore because you have enough fluid. That's fine enough. So it's not an open check that even Pochim Kashiri could drink all day. It is, according to what the doctor says, you need it for your health, and therefore, that's why one of the things we should ask the doctor is how much intake you need, a person needs to have, in order he should be able to survive this Yom Kippur.
Could we tell the person
what?
We tell the person, because you just said, right, because people get confused with so many shiurim. So you told them 10 minutes for eating, 5 minutes for drinking, but also the shiur of the drinking. One is ml, one is grams, one is 32, one is 38. Can we tell him like a blanket rule around 30?
The best thing is if you could make 30 grams food, and again, when it comes to drink, you have to make a chilik tishin, because drink is more important in a way. If it's a non-appetit, it's 40. If it's a petit, then you go down 32. So you want to make it clear, because over the broad 32, always 32 and 30. Okay, but you're not necessarily it's kedai to be machman. Again, if you want to make it on a level, 30 for food, 30 grams of food, and 32 for drinking. And achile shtia is not metzaref. That means you could eat and drink at the same time. It's not metzaref. Achila will be metzaref. Achile shtia, drinking food and liquid, is not metzaref. You could.
Right. Wow.
That's very important to know. It's when it comes to, but what is metzaref? If you have a achila food which has liquid in it, for instance, you have, let's say, a piece of challah, and you had on it peanut butter, or you have on it a thing which is basically a liquid, but you put it, that's considered achila. That's not considered a shtia, Understand what I'm saying? Think if you take a biscuit and you put it into a liquid and you eat the biscuit, that's achila. That's not shtia.
What about soup?
What? A soup is a shtia. A soup is again.
But some people put pasta inside the soup, so the pasta inside the soup will be considered.
Pasta is achila again. Exactly.
All right. Okay.
The klal in the poskim is anything which is basically a salad, it's considered a oichel. That means butter is considered the oichel. Cheese is considered the oichel. Anything which is liquid is considered a liquid, which is nozel. It's liquid. The poskim have a question. What about yogurt? Where do you put yogurt? And therefore the poskim say that you shouldn't be mitzvah of achila yogurt, because could be it's a part of achila. So yogurt, you eat only this, and you consider it on the chimidik exactly, maybe it's achila, but you don't eat this together with a liquid, because we have a suffix if it's achila shtia.
What about sugar that gets dissolved into water? So sugar is a solid,
Yeah,
but when you put it into the water, it gets dissolved.
now it's a liquid. Once it is
That's
dissolved,
a liquid.
yeah. If you
Okay.
have any grape juice or whatever which has sugar, we'll say it's achila. Once it gets dissolved. So again, just to sum up, when a doctor has to tell you if you could fast or you cannot fast, what the intake, what you eat, the kamut, the volume, how much you can eat, and if you need to eat and drink or only drink, and all these things has to be prepared before Yom Tov. Ask the doctor. Then you come to the Rav with what the doctor says, and you tell him, and he asking you what's going on. So now, if there is still any questions or the doctor wants to add on some information, I would be great appreciated, because I sit and learn every day, so we can learn, live and learn.
First, we have great Yasher Koyach. It was very informative. We also have another doctor. What happened to Dr. Lubin? Dr. Lubin, give Dr. Grossman a chance also. Give him a breather. But if everybody wants to ask any questions about Yom Kippur, or if Dr. Grossman, if you want to add or questions or whatever, or say from your experience, I'd appreciate it.
No, I thought this year was excellent. In my experience, I in all of my patients, my post-op patients, the surgical patients, I never had this problem. In 40 years, maybe I was just very lucky. I never had someone who would have been injured if they didn't eat for one day. I never had this problem. So this is.
I'll tell you an interesting story. One of my family members had leukemia. Had leukemia, and she went through a bone marrow transplant. Yes. She's healthy. I remember, I will not forget, I was in close contact with the doctor, and I asked. She had chemo from Pesach about till Shavuot. She was inpatient for 7 weeks. Shavuot, right. She went out of the hospital, and she was in remission, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
When it came to she was with Thomas, I think it was she was with Thomas. I asked the doctor, "What do you say about fasting?" I have no issue. She should fast, no issue, and she fasted it, and she was happy. Yeah. Then off, she went back. She had a bone marrow transplant. That's something different ball game. But remember,
different game, exactly.
I was shocked, and he told me I have no issue. He was not a frum guy, but he was a member of the conservative temple, but a frummer. Yeah. See, that means part of the Gaba, he was Talayan, he was involved in the community, and he told me I have no issues. She's fast.
It's the brittle diabetics that have the biggest problem in terms of the requirement to eat something. Most people drinking is a different story. That's a different, because again, you don't want anybody to get dehydrated. So that's the and the only thing I was going to add is if anybody who has to take medications, if the medication comes in a different form than oral, then that would be, in my opinion, the way to go. For example, if you have to take Tylenol, take a Tylenol suppository, because then you're certainly not over anything, because you're not eating anything.
Yeah. It happens to be some of my papers. I didn't realize it.
Yeah. But so those are, so if your medication comes in a different form and you can get it, and it's not a big deal, then that would be the way to go.
But not IV. IV is the same.
IV is not eating either.
It's not derech achila, but it's
not a chila. So if you need an IV, you're a chulas with misukan. That's a different story. We're talking about a bari. So now let's say you have a patient, so someone has a terrible headache. He has or even if he has a fever, right? So your fever is 100.5, not 102. You're just under. So you'd say, okay, if you gave him some Tylenol, his headache will go away, his fever will go down, his temperature will come down to normal. But if you don't have to swallow the capsule, the pill, then you're much better off.
Yeah, but Doc, but by Yom Kippur, it doesn't only say achila, it says v'nisem. It says you have
I
to.
assure you, there and get plenty of.
This is a big machlokas, Rabbi Wisdom. It's a big machlokas achronim, and this what you just.
Right. So,
a lot of boys can say that's not a connected vanism. Indication. They say someone to say if you take a suppository, a caffeine suppository, then that's a problem of vanism. But even this most boys can do it.
Yeah, but this is a different story. Here you need the medication. So if you have an option, I would think that would be if you could, that would be the easiest way to deal with it.
And if somebody takes medication on a daily basis, let's say a heart medication for AFib or something like that, could he take medication on Yom Kippur?
I would think so. Depends on what's the interval and how long each medication lasts.
Why can't he take it at the end of the day? I mean,
it depends, because certain medications you take the medications and it takes a certain how long it lasts in your system. So if certain medications you need a certain amount at all times. If that's the case, then you have to take it every day at the same time. But if you could take it, split a dose, you say, or take it erev Yom Kippur before the Suda or right after the Suda Mafsekes, and then you take right after Yom Kippur, so it's only 25 hours, so you'll catch up. It depends on what the medication is.
So what type of a medication do you know that is a problem? I mean, if anybody needs it, whatever.
Well, certain cardiac medications, certain blood pressure depends on how their blood pressure is controlled. So if it's minor control, you could take the before and after, and so it's not so bad. But it depends on every individual's condition. Right? If they're diabetic, sometimes we could say, don't take if you're not eating, don't take any insulin.
So to be more specific, if somebody takes verapamil on a daily basis, extended release, should he take, and then he takes it every morning, should he take it on the Yom Kippur as well, or should he take his dose Erev Yom Kippur mamish before this man, and then it holds for the rest of the day?
Well, you have to ask the cardiologist what's the status of his fibrillation, okay? Because that's a real dangerous thing.
Cardiologist sets it as the Rav.
So the Rav is going to say, do what the doctor says. So if the doctor says it's okay, because now you're taking sustained release, you're taking long-acting medications. So what you don't want to do is, if you're going to take a dose within 12 hours of when you're supposed to take 24 hours, so you may be taking too much.
Right.
Because you'll have a super dose. So it's not so simple. You have to know each individual case. You have to ask the doctors, how should I handle it? That's what I would do with that. And insulin, if you're not going to eat, don't take insulin. Don't take diabetic medication if you're not going to eat. And certain people can't, and certain people can. They say, and especially nowadays, when you can monitor the blood sugars, you can. They have long. You don't have to stick. It has. You can even see it on a phone. So it depends on how it's monitored. And if you know that the blood sugar is going to stay relatively stable, then it doesn't become a problem. But each case should be discussed with their particular doctor.
David Lubin, I saw you got on. Dr. Lubin, you want to say? Put on your face. Let the rabbi see you. You should see that you look like a former doctor. Rabbi David Lubin is in Syracuse, and Dr. Grossman is in Long Island. Okay.
Hi, Dr. Grossman. Very nice.
You're still in the hospital right now, right? You're still
yeah, just trying to finish up work before Yontiv. So but a very nice shiur. I really enjoyed it. And I agree. I think people that are type 1 diabetics is probably the hardest thing fasting, because of the hypoglycemia, the wild sugar level swings. You mentioned.
But Nebuch, in your what your field is in cancer one of those line, right? So you want to speak about that? That's for sure.
Yeah, let's see. Most of we do like I do a lot of oncology scans and such where we do have to check blood sugars, especially before we give our tracers and such. But and oftentimes the patients that are insulin dependent, the blood sugar can be erratic. I know some people have implanted glucose monitors, and I'm assuming that's probably the best because then they get like real time, ability to look at their blood sugar throughout the day of Yom Kippur. If they see things are looking like they're going very low, like they're getting hypoglycemic, should they, tell rabbi or just try to take a little bit of sugar water? I don't know what. Doc,
your camera went off. I know.
Oh, sorry.
There. Rabbi Obelan, this is how he's by a bus of Bechal Shiro, so he's in the middle of a surgery. Doc, your camera went off.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened here.
He's walking around in the hospital. I can see. What you asked the rabbi a question? What was the question?
Yeah, if sometimes patients they have a monitor, they can see their glucose, or they can get like real time information.
Okay.
But if they start to feel like they're getting like hypoglycemic, or they see that they're getting hypoglycemic, should they take a little bit of like a very small sip of sugar water?
Yeah, or take a piece of sugar.
Okay.
How do you say a cube?
A cube of sugar. Yeah. So if they let it kind of sit on their tongue, is that? It's not a shear of eating.
It's proximate shear, and it's even better because it takes a while till it dissolves.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And my other question is,
if they have a monitor, you're going to see the results pretty quickly.
Right.
So if their blood sugar drops below 80, you know that it becomes a problem, and you'll quickly see it come back up. Right. And my other question: some of these patients go home on a PICC line, which is like an intravenous line. They get antibiotics or something. I'm assuming that's not a problem during Yom Kippur because it's just kind of given
IV.
Yeah, it's IV, so it's not an issue.
It's not an issue.
Yeah. Even sometimes they come with a little bit of sugar in the solution, but also, again,
it's not a food with the mouth.
Right.
The only question I have to the doctors is, at which stage is hemoglobin, when it's low hemoglobin, is it 9 or 10? When it started getting dangerous? Under what?
Well, well, he'll answer because he's an oncologist, but it depends on how fast it goes down. Because you could tolerate, if it's a chronic condition, you can tolerate a low hemoglobin. But if it's acute and it's right away, then if you go down from 14, 15, which is normal, to 9, then it becomes that's a sakana. But if you have a chronic condition and you're used to it, then 9 is not so bad. 7 is a lot worse. But they're usually bleeding if they're going to go down that quickly, as opposed to someone who has a chronic condition. What do you say, Dr. Lubin?
Yeah. Sometimes patients, they kind of hang around like 7 or 6 or so even, and they're okay. It's a little tenuous, but they can be okay. But I think fasting, if they're that low, after they've received chemotherapy or some sort of oncology treatment, maybe then that's where you kind of have to be careful. Just try to make sure they're really well hydrated going in, make sure they're really well, have they eaten really well going into the fast.
So being 9 is not necessarily a cloud that you cannot fast. Depends how
long.
How long have you been 9?
How long?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes all the difference.
a pregnant woman which goes down to on the 9-10, that's already a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
problem.
If they quick, within a few days or a week went down, then it dropped, like by 2 or 3 points. That's a lot.
I heard that for people who had chemotherapy, if fasting after the chemotherapy actually helps them to control the kind of side effects, but the dehydration may be the real issue. So would you say, from a medical point of view, if someone just had a rabbinical point of view, someone just had chemotherapy, we could tell her, well, don't eat because probably you're gonna have like nausea and like vomits and stuff, but do keep yourself hydrated. Would that be a proper advice?
I mean, you probably have to definitely ask the oncologist, their direct oncologist. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the hydration. That's really the biggest issue with a lot of this, because a lot of the patients get very dehydrated very quickly, and so especially if they're fasting, if it's hot, you have to really make sure that they're not losing water during the fast that much. So that's probably the biggest thing.
Okay. Grace Yashikayach, Rabbi Oberlander, that was excellent. The emphasis, everybody should be healthy. I'll just be saying with a kurz word to stay in a positive note. I know we only heard Dvar Hashem, but we say in Rosh Hashanah davening, we say im kevonim in kavadim, right? Rabbi Oberlander, Dr. Grossman also writes a weekly Dvar Torah for it goes on to our newsletter. So he's a jack of all trades. Wow. His father was a Rav in one of the first Rabbanim in Long Island, and he claims he brought Chabad in Long Island. But anyway, so by
okay, now we can call you Rabbi Doctor.
Yeah, he is. He got Smicha from Rabbi Shachar all of a sudden.
Okay.
Im kivanim rachmenu karachem avabanim im kavadim einenu lechot fluyas. When you're coming like a father and son, the sack din is right away. Rachmenu karachem avabanim. If you're coming like an eved, then einenu lechot fluyas. I saw a mashal. What's the mashal? A person walks out in the street and he sees a commotion. He sees a commotion. People are screaming, shouting, they're beating somebody up. It depends. Now he hears it's somebody close to him. If he hears it's his son, he hears somebody stole something, somebody's caught Geneva. If he hears it's his son, he'll run to grab him, schlep him out, and then he'll deal with it. But first, let's stop the clapping, right? If he hears it's his Eved, he'll come over and say, "What's the geshen? What did he do? Does he deserve it? Does he not deserve it?" So he says, it's his Eved. In Kivanim, if we're coming like a father and son, David shall take us out. David shall go only good right away. In Kavadim, let's see, do you deserve? So we're all banim atam Hashem Elokechem. Moshe Gutman, smile. Everybody will be healthy. Everybody in your family will be healthy. Everybody will be. We won't need it. We'll fast easily. The Eibush will be kabel all our tefillas. And Rabbi Oberlander, Grace and Yashikoyach. And you can see we have a bunch of good guys. This is all Maya Chevra. So these are the good Chevra. You want to be Messiah?
And last week of the Tamidam in a team for a Shana Toiva Mesuka.
Amen.
Amen.
Go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
It was a great year.
Yep, it was. Thank you very much.